Alright, we're back for part 3. If you haven't seen part 1 and 2, the links are below. We're going to be using the 6-wheel drive Land Rover Perenti ambulance here for hearse duties. There's somebody I've come to know who is his last request was to be delivered in an ambulance. Previously, in the previous videos, this whole event was pending. He's since passed, and now there's an official date. In the previous videos I stripped everything out of here in preparation to clean everything up and to make sure there was room. Then we decided that we were going to make it through New Year's, so we put it all back in for New Year's. Now I've got to strip it all back out again, which is fine, but I have to also decide how I'm going to handle things, because normally I would camp in this during this trip. It's up the road, it's about a half a day's trip, but it's a fairly long day once you get involved in a funeral and all the rest, so I will need accommodation. The family has kindly paid for a night's accommodation for me, but I will need to take some stuff in here. So this storage lockers up here, where we're going to have to do something about that. Now my plan is to actually, these would have originally had doors, or at least some boxes. They look a bit ugly and not really funeral worthy. So I got myself some core flute here, and hopefully I'm going to cut some to size to fit inside here to just cover all this up, look a bit neater while we're there. And also I need to finish trimming up the air conditioner that's in here. I'm told that, or the forecast for the day is going to be about 37 degrees, and this will be my only real refuge, so I will definitely need this air conditioner. So I'm going to finish the trim on all of this, so I'll see how we go. Now there are little bits taped in here which I think are the original support bars for the fiberglass. It's nice to have that in there. This one, I think it's come off, so we generally try not to use these as handles. That's something the previous owner did. I'm thinking the way I go about this is I cut some of this and then I trim just the cells on one side here so I can fold it. I fold a piece, put in and unfold in there, and hopefully that'll look nice. And we can put some bit over these as well. It'll look a bit cleaner and a bit neater in here, and hopefully a bit more respectful. The challenge in here is finding camera angles that work. But I reckon a piece around about that size will do. The problem with these is when you go to use what you think is the thumb grip, you open it and it drops the blade out, whereas the thumb grip is there. And then when you do get the correct thumb grip, it comes out wrong. I think I'll find a different style of one of these. Hopefully it should work. This bit at least should slide in. This hopefully should slide in along there. I think that's going to look all right. Cool, let's try that with a few more sections. Alright, it's now that I notice all the cobwebs I'm going to have to brush down. And I'm sorry dude, you've been catching mozzies and been very faithful to me the last few weeks, but I think we're going to have to relocate you. I'll try and be nice about it. In any case, that looks a lot cleaner. I think I'm just going to wedge another piece in there, and I think it will look good enough. I think on the day, if all of these were exposed, it would be obvious and seem disrespectful. But I think on the day, a short overlap in here will probably go largely unnoticed. I think that'll be all right. Now, these guys are pretty much impossible to get clean. There's lots of stains on it, but there's also a lot of dirt from my apprentice's handprint. So I'll see what I can do about that. But I think I might just masking tape a bit of white paper behind that, rather than laser cut entirely new doors like I'd planned to do. And the time frame, of course, is a little short. So I will try and come up with some covers for this. We'll use the white paper for that. I have a bit of Australian white paper, which apparently is the last I'll get, because they shut down that mill, or that particular run in the local Australian mill. So I'm not going to get Australian white paper anymore. I'll only get brown paper. In any case, so let's worry about the covers for these bits. Now, are my offcuts going to be enough? Maybe. This bit maybe. That might work well. I don't know. Oh, it's going to have to stand up that way, so that's not enough. This one clearly will be, but will I get 2 out of that? I probably won't. I may have to improvise for the other side. But look, that piece will probably do. I'm going to cut a finger hole, and hopefully not through my finger, in the middle here. Doesn't matter where I put this, it's going to look off center no matter what, because this is not concentric. Okay, finger hole. Now, patience is finding the end of the roll. People call this tear-off tape. We had a builder here that was a little inept a while ago. Part of the $20,000 remodel on our bathroom, which is only a 3 square meter bathroom, by the way. Been so many mistakes with that. In any case, so this builder referred to this stuff as tear-off tape. I'd never heard it referred to as that before. Unfortunately, one of his bad habits has stuck with me, so yeah. This stuff is unwholesomely sticky. So let's try this trick. I think that's going to work. Alright, a funny little square hole, but better than what we had before. Alright, these Perspex things are never going to come clean. So I think what I'm going to do is I will laser cut some new ones at a later date. These involve drilling rivets to do that. Not something I want to do in the next few days. Of greater importance to me is to seal this up, because I will be using this, and I need to put a couple of extra screws along the side here. At some point I do need to get on the roof and re-drill the screws that I used to hold that top plate on, but not going to get there before we go. I would like to neaten this cable loom up a little bit, and maybe even find some white ducting tape, make it just look a little bit better. When we pull everything out of here again, which will probably be tomorrow, we'll do a final clean. I think I will cut to that shortly to save you the trouble of watching me move everything out again after there was already a time lapse of that. So yeah, for the moment my apprentice enjoying a few lollies helping me out here. So yeah, we'll continue cleaning. Okay, it's a couple of days later. It's nearly 40 degrees Celsius and the tape fell off a couple of spots. I'll have to fix that. What it does mean is it's time to rip all this stuff out again. Well, I got stuff moved on the front lawn, but I had to retreat inside because the temperature out there is 37 Celsius. And I need to have the back door open to do what I'm doing, and it's just too hot. I nearly collapsed on the ground trying to push stuff around. I did, however, manage to spend a couple of minutes in AutoCAD and drew up a trim for the interior shroud. And I'm pretty sure I got the radius and the measurements right. We'll find out when I laser cut it, which I'll have to wait till it's not like 60 degrees in my tin roofed shed. Alright, so it finally cooled off a little bit, and I ran that to get some airflow in here as well. Gonna have to get some tape and more tape and do that one up. In any case, I want to take my boiling vessel because I'm gonna need to eat, and hot food would be nice. And I'm not sure what the motel's got. They might have a microwave, but microwaves aren't great on foil lined MRE packets, so I might get stuck in the side pouch there for a bit. Hopefully that's not too offensive. Gotta clean everything up. There's a lot of dust. This cleaning is well overdue anyway. So yeah, we're gonna get in here and give it a proper mop out and a clean. This stuff on the vinyl on the side here, there's no cleaning that up. It's never coming off. We're gonna replace that vinyl at some point. But for the moment, yeah, it's all in there. Not quite gonna fit. That will fit. Okay, well, it's another day, and I got quite busy between the last clip, and I've just woken up. I was up till about 3 o'clock this morning. There was a lot to do, and there's been a bit of sickness in the family and stuff, so I had to help tend to that. I am quite run down, and I've got about 2 days before this is going to be needed. And that's the thing I'm going to do next too. So I'm going to see if this little fan here will bring enough cold air through to keep the cabin cool. Sweep out all the cobwebs. It's like a daily thing in this. Going to have guests in here, so presumably a female guest at some point too, which will be a member of the family, or I'll have a funeral director, which I think is a bloke. Either way, it needs to look respectable. They're all over the outside too. Oh god, the headlights. That's the other thing we'll have to do, is swap the bonnet tools over for the ones off the 4x4, because they look a lot better. Now I'm going to have to run that air conditioner on the day. It's going to be hotter tomorrow on the day than it is right now, and I'm already sweating. I'm hoping that noise doesn't bother everybody. The heat's killing me. Let's see what the cabin is like now. That is loads cooler in here. In fact, it says 30 degrees in here and 29 outside, but in the sun it's a lot hotter. Alright, the other thing I might swap from the other vehicle is my GPS. Alright, off to the car wash we go. The ignition switch is still a bit dicky, so we're using the push button method for now. It's staying 31 in here in the full sun, so I think the air conditioning is sort of working. So see how we go when we get moving, and the venturi vents push a bit of air through from the back too. Got the good car wash. This one's got a little gantry on the side we can stand on to get up higher with it. Oh, we want to soak you up. I think they ran out of wax, but it should work anyway. I was trying to hot wax it, but they run out. Alright, so I think they ran out of hot wax, because it's not looking very hot waxed at the moment. It just looks like I hosed it down, which is a pain in the rear. But I did scrub it with soap first, so it looks like it's reasonable condition now, although I will stop by the servo and use a squeegee to get the windscreen properly done. Alright, the servo stop off's done. Time to go back home. I think my apprentice is feeling the heat a little bit. Definitely a good time for us to go inside. Alright, well, we're home. We're done. There's still plenty more to be done, but for today I'm absolutely done. So we'll call this an episode, and I'll see you guys the morning of the day of the event, I guess, once I'm on the road. I'll be able to blog sort of up to and sort of around the event, but not the event itself. I don't have the permission from the family, hence why I'm not naming things, and it's out of respect that I don't want to name the bloke or sort of really film anything. It's a private affair. If it was a mate of mine, you know, it would be a lot easier, but it's not. This is somebody who's I don't personally know, but I've just donated my time and the vehicle for the job. So we'll see you when I'm on the way, and I'll talk to you on the way through it all. And yes, it's hot. It's like 38 degrees out there right now.
I hate being in 38 degrees.
Well, what's the temperature say? It says it's 23 in here at the moment, so I think we're doing pretty well. So yeah, that air conditioning is definitely going to work for the trip.